Hello, everyone, and welcome to The New Norm. I'm Selena Hill. Today, I'm super excited to speak with Rasheed Wallace, an NBA champion, retired all-star, and a current high school basketball coach. Thank you so much for being here with us today, Rasheed.
Oh, no problem at all. Thanks for having me.
Of course, you've been very active in the Black Lives Matter movement. You've been protesting, organizing rallies, and you've been using your platform to call for justice for George Floyd. Why is that important to you?
Well, I mean, we're fed up. We're fed up. It's a lot of not only unnecessary killings, but it's just stupid. To sit up there and kill someone because of their skin color. Come on, that can't be a crime, or that can't be a punishment by death. So I'm trying to, myself, along with many other my brothers and sisters that you've seen out there, we're just trying to get that community together, that Black community together. Like, look, okay, we understand what's happening out there, but for us to get to that next level, we have to educate our youth. If we get our youth right and educate them on what's going on, and to be pro-Black, and buy from Black stores, and Black business owners, and try to keep things of that nature, then we will uprise as a people. And that's my main goal, to try to educate our youth, to try to get them to know their history.
Absolutely. And you've been doing a great job, with that. And as I mentioned earlier, with the Juneteenth rally you participated in Philadelphia, have you always observed the Juneteenth holiday? Because it seems like it hit very differently for a lot of us this year.
Yes, it did. It did hit differently for quite a few people, because to be honest, I'm not sure how many Black people knew what Juneteenth meant, to be honest. But for those who did, yeah, it's something that, I've always celebrated. Me personally, in my household, we got that Juneteenth, and, we taking that Malcolm X Day off, and of course that Martin Luther King Day off. So it's to honor and celebrate a lot of our Black heroes.
And I saw you post about July 4th. Now, did you celebrate Independence Day, or was that different for you?
No, I didn't celebrate Independence Day. For me, growing up, 4th of July meant, hey, look, free food. We going over my grandmother's house for a cookout. That's all it really meant for me. It didn't mean anything as far as military or just loving my country or anything like that when I was growing up. And once I became older and understood the meaning of Independence Day, then that's for sure. I was like, all right, no, this is something that I can't celebrate.
Yeah, I think for a lot of us, it's been a chance to really educate ourselves on the meaning behind Juneteenth and the difference, because everyone's taught July 4th, but Juneteenth is, that was really a day of independence for us, Black freedom, Black resistance. And I'm happy you did that Juneteenth rally. And I understand you have another rally coming up in Detroit. Can you talk about that one?
Yes, we have myself, Steven Jackson, and a bunch of other, sports figures. We're getting together for a rally July 18th in Detroit, and July 17th, we're going door to door up in Flint, Michigan, helping out our brothers and sisters up there with perishable goods and bottled waters, because the water still isn't right up there. So everyone forgets about that. And granted, I'm not trying to compare the COVID to, poisoned water. Both of them are dangerous, but the people in Flint, they've been living with this contaminated water for the last 7 years, 6-7 years. So I try to do my part along with New Era Detroit. And we just try to do our part in the community, man, and try to get everybody on one love.
I'm happy you mentioned Flint, because we cannot forget what's happening in Flint. In fact, you've been on the ground for a long time, I understand, giving out bottles to those in Flint who are still, having to drink the toxic water or don't have access to clean water. Can you just talk about your involvement in Flint over the past years?
It's something that I've always done from the muscle. It's no charitable organization. It's no, I need you to send me $300 or not. No, it's none of that. It's all from the muscle. You send me your water, I meet you somewhere. You buy the water, you buy the Pampers, the baby food, or whatever it is, baby wipes that they might need, and boom, it's from the muscle. Hey, we're going to Target, pick it up and put it on a truck. And next thing you know, boom, we taking that truck up to Flint. You know, we've did it from Carolina before, and we've did it from Philly as well. So this is nothing new to us. And it's just the fact our brothers and sisters need help with it.
Absolutely. And I do want to just switch gears a little bit because, you know, we're talking about Black Lives Matter and we're making so much progress. There's so much momentum behind the Black Lives Matter movement. But do you think once the NBA season restarts later this month, it could become a distraction? Where do you stand on that debate about resuming the season or holding off?
Well, me personally, if I was left that choice, I'm not playing. But I'm not playing. So looking at it from the outside in, I'm 50-50. I do understand what some of the guys saying, you know, like I do understand what Kyrie's saying. Like, look, this is my family. I can't bring this sickness home. You know, I might have my grandmother living with me or, you know, a sick aunt or uncle or something like that who's having respiratory problems. So I can't afford to go down there to this place and then come back home to them. Because one thing you got to remember at the end of the day, yes, it is your job. Yes, it is a nice job. It paid for you to, you know, live a nice lifestyle and things of that nature. But one day that ball gonna stop bouncing. And guess who's still gonna be there? Your family, your aunties, your uncles, your grandmothers, you know, your cousins. They're still gonna be there. And for me personally, I can't put no price on family. Like, all right, well, I'm gonna risk going down here to get this, you know, this 30 million and come back and then, you know, I'm gonna be chilling with my family. Nah, because I could be bringing that back to my family. And now here we might have some kids getting sick or some of the elderly in our family getting sick. And then on the flip side of it, I do understand what they're saying as far as, okay, we're all tired of seeing the senseless violence that's being reported on damn near every news outlet, you know, and it's always been, I would say sports in the past has always been a safety net, right? For guys to go out and, you know, everybody to get away from the normal. But on that stage, on that platform as well that those guys have, they have to let it be known. They can't let this whole situation be forgotten about because they're playing now. Because all the reporters are going to do, well, how did you shoot tonight? You know, did you think you shot good from the three, this and that? So it ain't about that. No. Me personally, I'm asking or answering all questions that's surrounding all of these senseless deaths, you know, that's surrounding, you know, getting justice for George Floyd, getting justice for Breonna Taylor and all the other brothers and sisters.
So it seems like the NBA kind of met some type of compromise. Obviously, the league, it sounds like they're for letting the players wear the names of police brutality victims on the back of their jerseys. What do you think about that? Would that justify resuming the season? And do you think that, you know, if any players were 50-50 as well, mainly because of the Black Lives Matter movement, do you think that they would feel okay if they can still let their voices be heard, but in this way?
Well, I think this is going to be a funny situation when you're dealing with that, because yes, you're dealing with a $1 billion company in the NBA. So at the end of the day, you got to remember, they're going to protect themselves and they're always number one in their minds. So with the way that they're coming with the names on the jerseys, okay, on one statement, that's fine. But from the families, you know, like, will some of the family members see it as, yo, you're exploiting the death of, you know, my dad, or you're exploiting the death of my mom or auntie by having that name on the back of that jersey? You know, there's other ways that I'm thinking that the NBA can come along and be part of what's going on, because 93% of the NBA is African Americans. So they're definitely going to have to do something to bring it along. And for me personally, I don't think the jersey thing's enough, because it's just exploiting their families and those names of those who were slain. So
you don't agree with NBA players wearing the names of different police brutality victims? Well, what do you think would be enough? What should the NBA do if they are going to resume this month? And of course, they want to continue to let the voices be heard of the Black community.
I think a lot more community projects. The NBA and I say we because when I was playing as well, I did a lot of community work. The NBA does, I would say, more individual community work. So say if we both played on the same team and your cause was the children's hospital and mine was to feed the homeless. The NBA, they help support all of that individually, but I think collectively we have to do something city to city. That it starts with our youth. That's where it's all at. It starts with our youth. If we get our youth to be positive and have a positive mental mindset that, okay, I know my home isn't the lovely and lavish like I want it, but if I work hard, if I keep my head straight, stay out of trouble, do positive things, then it's going to be more of a positive turnout. So if they collectively, talk with some community leaders, talk with the mayors or, the lieutenant governors, whoever's in the right position for the work to get done.
Right. So Dwight Howard, he said that he is going to play for the Lakers this season, but instead of accepting the salary, he's going to donate that money back to his organization, the Breathe Initiative. What do you think about, players saying, I felt a little iffy about playing this season, but I'm going to use it for good. I'm going to use it for the betterment of the movement, for the betterment of humanity.
That's awesome. That's awesome because you got to think there are going to be a lot of children out here who are growing up without mothers and fathers and uncles and aunts, loving family members, brothers and sisters. So they're going to need that help. That family's going to need that help. If you look at the situation when we had a lot of our brothers and sisters murdered, they were pretty much the breadwinners or at least that 50-50 breadwinner in that home. So now the children are like just looking like, all right, damn, I see my mom struggling, she crying, my dad just got murdered. What are we going to do? So I commend, what the Dwight is doing, and maybe even what the NBA probably will end up doing is, hey, let's get some type of education fund together for these children. Let's get some type of mentor program together for these children because we can't forget about them. And don't get me wrong, the adults, yes, they're the ones that's going through all of it. They got to make the decisions, but damn, it's the kids we got to think about. That's our future. That's who we want to set precedence for us as the generation in the future.
Absolutely. Speaking of the kids, just to go back to the earlier point you made, there are a lot of kids who watch the NBA, idolize you guys, want to be you guys, of course. And if they were to see the name of Trayvon Martin or Breonna Taylor on the back of their jerseys, don't you think it might leave a lasting imprint on them? Like instead of seeing, okay, LeBron just made the layup or whatever, they're seeing a Trayvon Martin. That name it could be etched in their minds.
True. It can be etched in their minds. It also can be etched in their minds through mentorship, through, different type of programs, because what I don't want to see is these jerseys, like you just mentioned. Let's say LeBron got on a Trayvon Martin jersey. So once the NBA goes back to their regular uniforms, I probably like next year, I don't want these jerseys to become just a hot jersey commodity. You see what I'm saying? Like the way that everybody got the nice Michael Jordan throwback. You know what I mean? I don't, and $200-300 for that Michael Jordan jersey. I don't want to see that with the Lakers. Boom, we know it's LeBron's number 23, and then Trey Martin or Eric Floyd, E. Floyd, whatever you want to put on the back. I don't want to see that jersey up on eBay. Oh, you got a chance to buy LeBron's Black Lives Matter jersey, and I just don't want to see it done the wrong way. That's all I'm saying.
No, I got you, and thank you for clarifying that. I do want to just switch gears a little bit. Speaking of the NBA, you had an excellent career in the NBA for 16 seasons. You played for 5 different teams. Do you sometimes think your legacy goes under the radar or maybe is underappreciated?
To me, to be honest, it don't matter. I think I would say 3 things about my career that I pretty much am satisfied on and hang my hat on is 1, I was able to win a championship. Can't take that away from me. 2, it's something that I always wanted when I was growing up in Philadelphia, was to be in the Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame. And I've accomplished that last year, thank God. And the third one is to just be real, be true, be myself for the fans. You know, that's more of what I see. And I think, me personally, I consider that to be a successful career. It's not about making all the money and you sitting up in the 69,000 square foot home and all that. It's not about that. It's the people. It's the feeling that I had. And again, I'm speaking for me, from my opinion. It's the feeling that I had when I was able to accomplish those things. When I won a championship, for me, city of Philly, stand up. I won that for Philly, and that's how I felt. It's always been a community thing with me, and it's man, those 3 accomplishments, that's what I'm most proud of throughout my career.
Right, and making such an impact. I actually read that throughout your career, you earned over $158 million. It feels like a lot of times players, they earn a lot of money, but for some, it evaporates just as quickly, as soon as they stop playing. How are you able to manage your finances, and what financial advice would you give for new players entering the league?
Well, for me, I'm not all about the glitz and glamour. I don't have no ice. I ain't got none of that. And little do guys know that saves you a lot of money. And granted, if it's real platinum or real diamonds, it'll hold its worth. But a lot of guys be buying fake jewelry, so I'm not really big into the jewelry. I might have had a flashy car here and there, Mercedes here and there, but other than that, it's been pretty much American cars, low budget cars. Still got my first car I got drafted in, Ford Bronco and a Camaro. So I kept it with American cars. And then the people that know me know I wasn't flashy, so I didn't have a million dress suits and all of that stuff. I might have had like 6 or 7 suits, but it was just the mindset of how I grew up, those who were my mentors around me, and they just kept me grounded. If I go out there and have a good game, certain guys I know back home in Philly, yeah, that was cool, but dude still bust your ass. You could have done boom, boom. And with that, instead of being argumentative, no, take it all in stride. Like, all right, you right, go back, look at it, and, just work it out from there.
There you go. And before we let you go, I definitely want to talk about your podcast. Let's talk about, when and why you launched your podcast, and what is the message that you're trying to communicate?
Well, I do my podcast. It's called Let's Get Technical, and I do it with my former teammate, my brother, Rasheed Wallace. And actually, he was the one who got me into it. He's been on my heels probably for about, I would say, the last 2 years about getting a podcast, doing a podcast. We should do this. We should do it, man. And I was like, nah, Bonds, I ain't feeling it. Ain't the time. And then finally, he came to me, he's like, look, dog, this is out here, boom, boom, boom. And he broke it down even more. And then finally, I was like, all right, come on, let's do it. And so we've been having some pretty good guests. I think our main message is to just broaden sports. We're not just going to be specialized in having sports guests. We're going to do entertainment. And it's not just focused on, okay, the Lakers are on a 10-game win streak. No, well, we're going to talk about other things too. So we have guests lined up. We're trying to get doctors, lawyers to speak, and from every aspect, number one, and then number two, for all of the youth out there to see that you don't necessarily have to be an athlete to be successful.
So Rasheed, let us know one more time when and how we can find your podcast.
It's called Let's Get Technical, and it's on youtube.com/Let's Get Technical. We're on Bonzi She Tech on Instagram and Twitter and all podcast platforms.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for inspiring all of us.
Oh, no problem at all. Hey, and we inspire each other, because without you, I couldn't do what I do, and without me, you couldn't do what you do. So we need each other.
There you go. Thank you.